budget proposed by Brooklyn Center city staff offers funding for more firefighters, but not for new police positions. That has some city council members concerned. The Brooklyn Center City Council gave feedback on the proposal this week. City staff are asking for a nearly $2 million property tax levy increase this year. If the council approves the budget, the fire department will get 2 new full-time positions. Currently, the department operates on a paid-on-call model. It's planning to gradually switch to a 24-hour duty crew in the next several years. The council was open to bringing in more firefighters, but questioned why the budget did not have funding for more police officers. Currently, the department has filled 40 of its 49 police positions.
We need to find a way to fund these positions reasonably over time, and we owe that to the new person coming on board too, so they're not inheriting a deficit from day one.
The city's current police chief is retiring at the end of January. The council expects to continue budget discussions and plans to vote on the final budget in December. A Plymouth woman's death on Highway 55 Tuesday afternoon is now being investigated as a case of criminal vehicular homicide, according to the State Patrol. 68-year-old Catherine Karen was headed north on Industrial Park Boulevard when 2 vehicles traveling east on Highway 55 smashed into her SUV. The State Patrol says Karen was pronounced dead at the scene. Eastbound lanes of Highway 55 were shut down for several hours due to the crash. The State Patrol says the driver of one of the vehicles, a 49-year-old Hopkins man, was arrested on a possible charge of criminal vehicular homicide. Initial reports indicate that speed and possible running of a red light played a role in the crash. Also in Plymouth, police arrested 4 juveniles who they say tried to flee in a stolen vehicle. The stolen vehicle was spotted in the area of Brockton Lane and Medina Road shortly after 1 in the morning on Wednesday. Police eventually stopped the vehicle in Golden Valley after deploying stop sticks. All 4 suspects tried to run from the vehicle, but were tracked down with the help of several agencies and a police canine unit. The Robbinsdale School District is launching a new crisis reporting system with the goal of keeping students and teachers safe. The Say Something Anonymous reporting system allows middle and high school students to report concerns about classmates who are struggling or may be violent. Tipsters can report threats against a school or other crises like sexual harassment or bullying. Students can make a report through the mobile app, website, or phone hotline. The National Crisis Center will receive those tips and contact school administrators or law enforcement. People in need of mental health services now have a new option in Golden Valley.
We have both clients and clinicians in this area, so we came to a place right on Olson Memorial Highway in a beautiful building, and we're going to call this home.
Golden Valley is now home to All In Therapy Clinic. That clinic celebrated its grand opening earlier this week. All In Therapy has a dozen clinicians to help treat depression, anxiety, past trauma, and relationship issues. Staff members here say people are finally starting to become more comfortable with seeking mental health services.
It used to be a hidden thing that was seen as a personal failure. Now it's seen as exactly as it should be seen. It's seen as an everyday care. Just like a dentist, everybody should have a therapist in their life to talk to. Everybody goes through struggles.
All In Therapy accepts most insurance providers. It's located on the 3rd floor of the Valley Square Corporate Center. Robbinsdale lost a powerful figure last month. This week, the community is honoring his memory. I introduce you to historian Raleigh Haywood and the living legacy he left behind.
One of the things Raleigh did was assemble a lot of our historic photographs into a notebook.
A city's history.
Well, that's a photograph, isn't it, Pete?
Is more than a photo in a frame.
He had a lot of good stories to tell.
History is made up of stories.
This is a photo of Raleigh with his Jaguar.
And people.
Raleigh liked to say that the town had more characters per square block than any other city he'd ever been in, and he considered himself one of them.
Raleigh Haywood lived a life in pursuit of those characters.
Whenever there was somebody or a name in Robbinsdale history, Raleigh usually had a story that went along with it.
Born and raised in town, he graduated from high school in 1949.
Raleigh learned to fly at the Robbinsdale Airport, and most people didn't even know there was an airport in Robbinsdale.
He served in Korea, then raised 3 kids with his wife, Juanita.
When you came through the door, Raleigh was probably sitting here and he had 15, 20 stories that he liked to tell over and over again. We all got to know him pretty well. You know, he related those stories like he was there, which I always thought was interesting.
His stories built up the Robbinsdale Historical Society and its community.
We'll also miss his memory because when we needed to know something from the past, often Raleigh knew the answer.
Everything in here he pretty much touched and knew what it was and where it was and how it was important.
President Peter Ritchie got to know Raleigh over the years.
He was our curator and our curmudgeon.
And Raleigh died at age 92 in August. Yet, at the Historical Society,
I might describe Raleigh as a jolly fellow.
his piece of living history lives on.
He liked the fact that we were goofy and had a whole bunch of characters, so whether it was Captain Billy, with his smutty magazines riling everybody up, or our pro wrestlers and their general attitude. He liked to think of Robbinsdale as a city of characters.
The community is honoring Raleigh's memory at Wicked Wart Brewing in Robbinsdale, one of his favorite spots in town. If you'd like to celebrate his life with them, you can join them on Thursday, September 14th at 5:30 that evening. Finally, this segment, the best that summer has to offer. Before the leaves start falling and the gardens stop growing, we want to highlight some of the best landscaping in the area. We'll leave you with this year's Summer Blossom Award winners as selected by the City of Brooklyn Park.
Tuesday night's Northwest Suburban Conference volleyball matchup between Maple Grove and Rogers was a showdown between two of the top 10 teams in the state in Class 4A. Chaz Moots has highlights from Rogers.
The Crimson came in with a 5-3 record, ranked 9th in Class 4A. Rogers has only lost once. That was to Wayzata. They're 3-1 and ranked 7th in the state in Class 4A. First set, great dig from the freshman libero McKinley Hartle. And then another freshman, Avery Quam, fakes out the Royal defense with a misdirection. Maple Grove led 18-12 after that point. Later on, set point, Riley Orrock on the serve. Rogers can't return. It's an ace, and the Crimson take the first set, 25-16. The Royals responded in the second set. Some good defense here. Senior Paige Chamorro up front with the block. Rogers evens it up with a 25-20 win in set two. In set three, Anya Schmidt with a diving dig, but the Crimson set up a wall up front. Great defense from Quam and Audrey Waterman on the block, but Rogers would rally. Ella Maurer, great serve here. She gets the ace. The Royals get the win in set three, 25-17. That meant the Crimson would need to win set four to keep the match alive. Another freshman, Casey Schultz, making a nice play. Big swing on the kill. MG up 17-15. But Rogers kept their poise all night. Schmidt led the charge. She had 19 kills. This was one of them. Rogers wins set four, 25-23, and the match 3-1. In Rogers, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The Wayzata boys soccer team scored a big win over section rival and then top-ranked Minneapolis Washburn Saturday. The Trojans look to stay undefeated as they met St. Michael Albertville.
The top-ranked Wayzata boys soccer team on home turf to face St. Michael Albertville in Lake Conference play.
Matchups with
Charlie Pillar with the corner kick right to Jackson Widman for the perfect header goal, and Wayzata leads just over 12 minutes in. Knights keeper Evan Collins swats away another good Trojans chance, and it stays 1-0 at halftime. Early in the second half, Wayzata is awarded a penalty kick. Pillar buries it to give the Trojans a 2-0 lead. And they seal it away late as Jeremy Cordero sets up Miles Redmond for the goal. Wayzata is now 7-0 after a 3-0 win over STMA. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Wayzata girls scored 2 second-half goals to beat STMA 2-0. The Trojans are now 8-0 and also ranked number 1. Wayzata girls tennis team is also having a strong season. The 4th-ranked Trojans started the week with a win against another local squad. Jay Wilcox has more.
Wayzata hosting Benilde St. Margaret's in girls tennis. First singles, Emmy Eilertson serves for Benilde to Lucy Nebedrick. Nebedrick comes in for a strong forehand that Eilertson gets to, but it sets up a deft touch backhand for Nebedrick. She rolls to a 6-0, 6-0 win. Second singles, Wayzata's Tasha Piabankarn in the near court against Emily Walsh. A pair of great shots to the corner for Tasha, and that leads to an easy forehand winner. She wins 6-2, 6-1. Zhao Zhang serves for Wayzata at third singles to May Breinig. A nice mix for Zhang, then a slice backhand right on the line. Zhang wins 6-1, 6-0. To number one doubles, Olivia Gorton the serve, and great hands for Josie Dvorak for the volley winner for Benild's team. Same match, and Kate Walburn serves for Wayzata, and Greta Holmes with a nice volley. The Trojans duo wins 7-6, 6-1. Second doubles, and Izzy Epstein serves for Wayzata. Elise James with a volley winner. They beat Maggie Graychek and Shell Hornig in a tiebreaker after splitting 2 sets. Wayzata wins the match 6-1. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.